Welcome all. Today in building services, we will get to know about the wiring and the wiring systems. First, we will get to know about what is an electrical wiring. So electrical wiring is nothing but it is the insulated conductor which is used to carry the current and it will be associated to the device. So the domestic electric appliances like the light, fans, washing machines, water pumps and other appliances are connected to supply through the insulated wires which are controlled by the switches. So the state electricity board usually provide the electric supply up to a point outside the customer premises. So from that point, the customer takes the connection to his main board. So insulated electrical wires will be taken out to various places in the premises to supply power to the different types of loads which is required for the light, fans, refrigerators, room coolers or heaters and other appliances. So next is about the types of wires. So the wires are drawn along the customer's building to distribute powers to all points where the load is required or where the load is situated. So the wires are classified into two types. So first one according to their material used and second one according to for what purpose it is used. So first the type of wire according to the material, vulcanized Indian rubber cable, that is VIR, then polyvinyl chloride cable PVC, capped tire shredded wires, that is CTS, and the tough rubber shredded wires, that is TRS. So these four classifications are according to the materials they use in it. Next, according to the purpose or according to for what purpose it is used, that is domestic wiring, commercial wiring and the industrial wiring. Next is about the wiring methodologies. So there are mainly two methodologies. One is the series connection and other one is the parallel connection. So in series circuit connection, devices are connected one after the other. So one device fails, the entire circuit will not work. Whether in terms of the parallel circuit connection, devices are connected side by side. So one circuit fail, it won't affect the other circuit. So this type is mainly adopted. The speed that a parallel circuit connection is mainly adopted in the residential buildings. So this is a picture example of the series connections and the parallel connections. So next is about the classification of the wiring systems. So these are the following types of the wires. There are the cleat wirings, then wooden casing capping wirings, then CTS wirings or TRS wirings or the batten wirings, then metal shaded wirings or the lead shaded wirings and the conduct wirings. So first is about the cleat wirings. So in this type of wiring, wood or the plastic lids of fixed to the wall or the ceilings at the regular intervals, that is usually 0.6 meter between each clit. So the PVC insulated cables are taken through the holes of each slit. So the slit supports and holds the wire. So this is very cheap method and it is used for the temporary installations, but it is not suitable for the uses in homes. It is an outdated model also. Next, wooden casing or the wooden casing capping wirings. So in this, the cable is running through a wooden casing having the grooves in it. So the wooden casing is of a required fixed length with the parallel grooves that accommodates the cables. So wooden casing is fixed to the wall or the ceilings with the help of the screw. So after placing the cables inside the grooves of the casing, a wooden cap with a groove is placed on it to cover the cables. So this is also a cheap wiring system. So this is a high risk of fire. It has the high risk of fire in case of the short circuit. So this is an example of the wooden casing and capping wire which has the screws in it and capping which where the wire will be kept inside or accommodated inside. Cables will be accommodated inside. It has the casing and the capping. So this is called so it is termed as the wooden casing and the capping wirings. So next, CTS wirings or TRS wirings or batten wirings. So one of the very oldest type of wiring systems, also called as the batten wiring system. So teak wood battens are used with the clips fixed at regular intervals varying between 6 centimeter to 15 centimeter. This is a picturized example of the CTS wirings or the TRS wirings, which is also known as the batten wirings. So next, metal sheeted wirings or the lead sheeted wirings. So the lead sheeted wire used in this type of system is fully damp proof, and hence it can be exposed even to rain. So mainly used for the outdoor wirings. So next, conduit wirings. So that is a surface conduit wiring systems is used in industries in order to connect the heavy motors. So this is the example of it. Then concealed conduit wiring systems. So concealed, it is the most popular and the most common method of wirings in the residential buildings also. Next, when it is planning of the electrical installations, these are the things which have to be considered. The following are the various issues that are to be given a broad outlook by the electrical engineer during the planning stage. What are the things the electrical engineer have to consider when planning for the electrical installation? First one is the type of supply, occupancy, and load, and the earthing arrangement available, and also the atmospheric conditions such as the cooling air temperature, moisture, or such other conditions which are likely to affect the installation adversely, and also the possible presence of inflammable or explosive dust, vapors, or gases, and degree of electrical and mechanical protection necessary, and importance of continuity of the service, including the possible need for the standby supply, and the profitability of and the probability of need for the modification or the future extension, and also the probable operation and maintenance cost, taking into account the electricity supply tariffs available, if the tariffs available, and also the relative cost of various alternative methods, and the need for suppressing radio and the telecommunication interference, and also the overall maintenance issues. Then have to consider the safety aspects and energy conservation, and the importance of proper discrimination between the protective devices for the continuity of the supply, and limited isolation of only the affected portions, and also assessing all the electrical equipments that are to be procured for the service that are intended to be used, and proper coordination with the civil engineers and architect for the suitable location of the substations, transformers, switch rooms, then service cable ducts, then main and the distribution boards, and sub distribution boards. Then proper coordination with the supply authorities in respect of the tariff applicable, then type of apparatus that may be connected under the each tariff, then requirement of the space for installing the meters and the switches, then total load requirements of the light, fans, and sockets for the present conditions, and anticipated increase in the immediate future for lighting, then general purpose socket outlets, then kitchen heatings, then predicting all the requirement of the consumers, and preventing the consumers to use multi-plug adapter with the long flexible cord, which are not recommended. Thank you.